Hey everybody, Robert back with you. I'm ready to start playing. I really appreciate the advice that was given to me on the first video I did, and I think I'm going to somewhat slim down the number of heroes from 5 to 4. I read that playing with 4 is probably the best. Seems to be the most enjoyable, perhaps the most balanced. So we're going to try 4 heroes instead of 3, and instead of 5, we're going to go with 4. And I removed Tachyon because I've heard that Absolute Zero is a challenge to play. And a number of people were saying, why don't you hold off on playing Absolute Zero and save him for a second game? But I'm just very curious. Like I said, I really don't know how these people play. I don't really know how to operate and, put their combinations together. So just very curious about how this guy's going to work. But I'm going to go with these 4: Legacy, Bunker, Wraith, Absolute Zero. Let's get started, and we'll take a look at Sentinels of the Multiverse in action. Well, here right on the back of the rule book, we have the turn order. And things start with the villain turn. And what we need to do is play a villain card. Well, remember, our villain is starting with the mobile defense platform in play. That's this thing. And it has 10 of its own hit points, and as long as it's up and working, we cannot damage Baron Blade. And what we need to keep in mind is if there are 15 or more cards in the villain trash, then Baron Blade's Terralunar Implosion Beam activates, pulling the moon into the earth, and the game ends. Well, here's our villain deck. Let's see what we get. This is a powered remote turret, and it is a device. It says at the end of the villain turn, this card deals each hero target 2 projectile damage. Increase damage dealt by this card by 1 for each mobile defense platform in play. It's a little sad here. Right at the beginning of the game, I had to look and look and look at this and try to determine, was that a 1 or is that a 7? And I had to actually go online to double check and make sure that is a 7. Alright, so the device is out, and we're coming to the end of the villain turn. So this card is going to do 2 damage, projectile damage, to each of the heroes, and it gets increased by 1 for each mobile defense platform in play, and we have 1 in play right next to it. So that's going to boost the damage up to 3. So 3 damage to each player hero. Alright, so the heroes have taken some damage already, attempting to make their attack on Baron Blade. His mobile defense force shoots all of them. It's the hero turns. Let's start with Legacy. Alright, Legacy is down from 32 to this amount of hit points here. What do we have? 29, 25, 6, 7, 8, 9, 29. And he has the following 4 cards in his hand. So each hero begins with 4 cards in their hand. I have to choose and play one of these cards. What would be a good card to start with? Let's see. Maybe the Legacy Ring might be good. It allows us to use an additional power during your power phase. That might allow us to play 2 powers right away. I don't know if we can, but maybe in the future. Why don't we start with this? We'll put down the Legacy Ring. So this is an equipment card. We're just going to put it down here for Legacy. Now, following the turn order, after we play our card, we get to use a power. And technically, Legacy could play 2 powers now that his legacy ring is on. Well, the only power we really have for legacy is right there, Galvanize. Until the start of your next turn, increase damage dealt by hero targets by 1. So all the heroes are going to do +1 damage. Well, the enhanced edition came with these little tokens here, these markers. So Legacy is going to use this power, and we're going to boost everybody's power. I just remembered something. I think Legacy is a nemesis of Baron Blade. Let's see how that's going to affect damage against Legacy. There it is, Baron Blade, the nemesis icon. That's Legacy's icon. And what you're supposed to do when you're fighting a nemesis, there we go, it talks a little bit about a nemesis. When you damage each other, it is increased by 1. So that initial attack by the Baron should have taken an additional point of damage, or done an additional point of damage to Legacy. Alright, we've played our card, we've used our power. We're going to draw 1 card and add it to our hand. Next evolution. So we've got 4 cards again, and that's going to end Legacy's turn. Well, next is the Indestructible Bunker. Remember, his damage is boosted this turn, and we've got 4 cards. Let's take a look and see what we have. We have Heavy Plating, which will reduce damage to Bunker. We've got a 1-shot here. It deals himself 2 fire damage, and all other non-hero targets take 3 damage. I think that would be boosted to 4, so that's pretty good. A gun. Alright, we've got a big Gatling gun. This is equipment, and this... So equipment's going to stay. This is going to allow us to do some shooting here. And then some sort of upgrade mode. It says when this card enters play, you destroy other mode cards. You may play an additional card during your play phase. Wonder how that works. So, starting our turn, we need to play a card right away. Why don't we try this upgrade mode? So you may play an additional card during your play phase. Well, this is the play phase now. You cannot use powers. You cannot use powers at the start of your turn. You may destroy this card. So I assume that as I play this card, you may play an additional card during your play phase. It is my play phase, so I believe I can play this card, and then if I'm reading that right, I can play 1 other card. So why don't we start attacking as much as we can. Let's bring out the Gatling gun. So there are 2 cards down, and due to that upgrade mode, we're not allowed to do any powers. So I guess we just go straight to drawing a new card. Ammo drop. And that's going to end the turn for Bunker. Alright, Wraith is up next, and we've got her 4 cards. Let's take a look and see what she's got. We're going to play a hero card. Well, let's see. Got some different things. Throwing Knives, this will be nice. Deals up to 3 targets 1 projectile damage. Trust Fund, Computer, reduce damage dealt. Why don't we try to do a little bit of damage this turn? So, want to break out the Throwing Knives? Yeah, let's do that. So let's put this down here. Throwing Knives are in play. And now we have to use a power. So now we have a choice, I think. We can either use this power, which is defense, reduce the next damage dealt by 2, Or we can make an attack, and we can deal up to 3 targets 1 damage. With the help from Legacy, that damage will be 2. So why don't we try to do that? Why don't we use the throwing knives with the boost, and we'll do 2 targets, because there's only 2 targets right now. We'll do it 2 damage each. So 2 damage to the turret here will bring that down to 5. And then the 10 damage will be replaced by 8. And due to that mobile defense platform, we can't target the Baron yet, so no damage to him. He's immune to damage as long as this thing is out. Alright, so Wraith is going to draw 1 more card. And we have some sort of targeting computer. Increase projectile damage dealt by the Wraith by 2. That's wonderful. So that's a nice damage boost. So 4 cards, and that's going to end Wraith's turn. Alright, here we go. Absolute Zero. We need to start off by playing a card. We've got 4 cards here. His power, Thermodynamics. Absolute Zero deals himself 1 fire damage or 1 cold damage. I'm sure there's going to be a reason he's damaging himself. So what can his cards do? Well, we've got this equipment. This will increase cold damage by 1. But with his power, that's just going to damage himself. So, we've got a 1-shot here. Select 1 equipment card from your trash and put it either into your hand or into play. And then Absolute Zero deals himself 1 fire damage and 1 cold damage. Okay, I have no idea why this guy's damaging himself. We've got a big freeze here. 1 shot, destroy up to 3 ongoing cards. And we get to deal non-hero targets X cold damage, where X is the number of ongoing cards destroyed. Ongoing cards. Well, that's going to be other people's heroes cards or something. Maybe we'll save that. Frostbound Drain. Alright, this is a 1-shot. Absolute Zero deals 1 non-hero target 3 cold damage. Absolute Zero deals himself 3 fire damage. Alright, guys, I need your help. You've seen the 3 cards. Maybe you're very familiar with the game. Let me know what you think I should do with this guy. Which card should I play? And then, none of these are powers, so I've only got really 1 power choice. Tell me what to do with this guy. What do you think? I'm going to stop there, and I'll take your advice on how to play the rest of Absolute Zero's turn. And then I'll move on from there. So, if you spotted any mistakes so far, let me know. And what I need to do then is finish up Absolute Zero's turn, and then I think I need to move into the environmental cards. But thanks for watching, and hope you'll help me in learning Sentinels of the Multiverse here. I'll catch you later.